Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as I talk about how to propagate mums from cuttings. So let's go. Many people treat mums as annuals and they buy them year after year. A lot of mums that you buy from garden centers are actually perennials, and there's certain ways that you can get them to come back year after year. Now this video is not going to focus on that whole process. I have many videos on my channel that talk about the kinds of mums that are perennial, how to get your mums to come back for you year after year, as well as how I overwinter my mums in my unheated garage. What I'll do is put links to those videos down below because I have many different videos that have to do with mums. This video is going to talk specifically about how to take cuttings from a mum plant in order to propagate the plant so you can have more free plants. Now, hands down, dividing a mum plant is the easiest way to propagate the plant. But taking cuttings is another way that you can propagate it, and I actually enjoy the process. I've taken cuttings from mums a number of times. I usually do it out in the landscape around springtime. In fact, I made a video showing you my process for taking cuttings from a mum plant out in the landscape. What I'm going to do is insert that right here so that you can see what I did during the spring months. Springtime is a great time to propagate your mums, take the cuttings, and get them to root. Since mums take a long time for their roots to establish in the landscape, I want to take these cuttings, get them rooted so I can get them planted in my landscape well before the late summer or fall months. So let's get started with this project. When it comes to taking cuttings, you want to use some sort of a well-draining potting medium. I like to make my own potting mix. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. You can use whatever you want. Just make sure that it's good at retaining moisture as well as well-draining. I've already filled up a bunch of pots here, and I'm just reusing 3-inch pots that I already have on hand. And I'm going to go ahead and fill these up. And I'm just going to tap them down like that. I'm trying to settle the soil so there are no air gaps in it. But I also don't want to press down too hard because I don't want the roots to be constricted. I want them to be able to grow nicely in this potting mix. And I've filled up a whole bunch of pots here because I'm planning on rooting a lot of different plants during the spring months. And I just want to pre-moisten my potting mix because with the cuttings, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best chance of survival. I might as well take cuttings from some of these taller pieces up here versus some of the short ones down here. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm planning on coming in here and cutting all of this back by at least 1/3, if not 1/2. When it comes to my cutting, I want it to be at least 3 or 4 inches in height. So I'm going to just follow it all the way down, and I'm going to cut above a set of leaves. And that is what the cutting looks like. So see where this leaf is right here? This is what's called a node or a leaf node. You want to make sure you have at least 2 sets of nodes or leaf nodes below soil level. That's where the most amount of hormone is within the plant. That's where the roots are going to get created. So I'm going to go ahead and just strip off or pull off a few sets of these bottom leaves. One thing I want to mention is if you took a very long cutting, you can turn that into 2 or 3 cuttings. It's really up to you how many cuttings you want to turn each piece into. So since we already stripped off the bottom 2 leaves and we have 1 set of leaves here, we have another set of leaves there, I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. I personally like to keep 2 sets of leaves on the top and 2 leaf nodes beneath soil level. And it's up to you how many leaves you want to leave on the top. If you do have a bud or a bloom forming on the top, you want to go ahead and remove that. You don't want the plant to put its energy into creating any sort of flowers. You want it to put its energy into creating roots. And now I'm going to go ahead and stick my cutting. You can use rooting hormone if you want to. You would just dip the bottom part into some sort of rooting hormone of your choice. But honestly, I'm not going to be doing that because I've had a lot of success rooting different plants without rooting hormone. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick my cutting in. And I'm going to stick it in on the edge of the pot here. And I'm going to stick a few cuttings in here. The reason I'm putting this cutting on the edge of the pot is so that the roots don't get intertwined because I am going to be putting a few more cuttings in here. I'm also doing this job early in the morning. That is really the best time to be doing it because that's when the plants have the most amount of water inside of them. The cutting is going to be losing water during this process. So since it's full of water during the early morning, it's really the best time to be doing this. Now we're going to take our second piece that we cut off, and again, we're going to strip off the bottom couple of leaves. Another thing you could do, but I'm not going to do, is you could come in here and snip off some of the top leaves. Again, that just minimizes the amount of water that's lost during this whole process. I'm going to place the cutting here. I'm also going to press down. I want to make sure that my cuttings are good and secure. Let's come in here and take another cutting. The whole reason I like to cut above a leaf node when I take my cutting in here is I don't want this long stick staying behind. I want to make it so my plant still looks nice and tidy. So we have a large cutting here again, so we're going to strip off the bottom leaves. And we'll make our cut. I'm going to strip off the bottom leaves. You could use something like a dibber or a pen if you wanted to make a hole, but these actually have a stem that's pretty hard, so I feel comfortable just pressing them right in. And in this case here, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just snip off some of these top leaves. And I'm going to press down. The plants need a little bit of humidity in order to grow their roots. It's been pretty humid here, so I'm not going to be doing that. But if you did want to do that, you could definitely add some sort of a humidity dome or a bag on top of this. Always label, especially if you're going to be taking cuttings from a lot of different plants of the same kind. I am going to be doing that, so I have purple mums labeled here. I have an area in my shed that's covered, but it brings in filtered light. It's a perfect place for me to be putting all my cuttings. So this is where they'll stay for the next many weeks, and it will take probably 3 weeks to a month before I can see roots coming out from the bottom of the pot. Well, it is currently winter and very snowy and very cold outside. I love to overwinter mum plants in my garage. I buy them in the fall, and because I can't put them out in my landscape in the fall time, I overwinter them and then I plant them out in the landscape in the spring. So just for fun this year, I took some cuttings and I rooted them. So what I wanted to do today is just show you how those cuttings are looking, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to pot them up. And even though the process is going to be pretty much the same as what I showed you in that video clip, I still thought it would be nice to show you cuttings that have rooted. And I also want to show you what I do to ensure that when I bring cuttings indoors for rooting, I'm not bringing in any sort of pests. Also, I experimented with rooting hormone, and I want to talk a little bit about that. This is just a sandwich bag, and I used it as a humidity dome on top of this little pot. I took the cuttings from a red colored mum, and I took a total of 4 cuttings, and out of the 4, 3 took, 1 did not. So I went ahead and removed that one. Whenever you take cuttings of any plant, it's always good to take many cuttings because it's not guaranteed that they're all going to root or they're all going to survive. I took these cuttings on January 19th. Today is February 11th, so it's been about 3 weeks since the cuttings were taken. I put the cuttings under my LED shop lights, which were on 16 hours a day. I also put them on a seedling heat mat, and I want to let you know that I would not recommend it. I eventually took them off the heat mat. My house stays warm enough, and I think it's actually detrimental and not good for the seedlings to be on the heat mat, so I don't recommend a heat mat. I put rooting hormone on the cuttings. I sprayed my cuttings with an insecticidal soap called Safer because the cuttings were coming from my unheated garage into my home, and I didn't want to bring any sort of insects into the house, especially fungus gnats. And a humidity dome was used, which was that plastic bag. I bought a whole bunch of these small pots on Amazon. I just thought that since they're translucent, as roots start to form, I'll be less inclined to want to pull out cuttings and see if roots are forming, that I might have a chance of actually seeing roots forming on the side. So let's go ahead and remove the cuttings from the container. And look how beautiful that cutting is. It's just so gorgeous. I am so happy with how it looks. One of the biggest reasons I decided to take cuttings during the winter months was it's just something fun for me to do. It gets my hands in the dirt. And I figured if you also are overwintering any of your plants, now is a great time to experiment with cuttings. Especially if you can't be outside in your garden doing work out there, you might as well be playing around with cuttings. Let's look at some more. And the cuttings I took were on the smaller side, which really doesn't matter. And it's a perfect time for these cuttings to really establish themselves because the goal is they're going to get planted in the landscape in the springtime. But I am planning to continue growing them on indoors and start giving them fertilizer at this point. I am really, really pleased with the root system. I suspect the roots might have been formed sooner if I didn't put this on a seedling heat mat. So from now on, any cuttings that I take will not go on a seedling heat mat. I am planning to take more cuttings during the next number of weeks, but I figured I should at least show you how these cuttings are looking that have rooted. And again, it's something fun that you can do. You can either do it in the springtime in your landscape if you have mums, or you can do it during the winter months, but you would want to have grow lights and a warm space where the cuttings could take off and do their thing. So at this point, I just want to put one cutting per pot because I want them to grow on and put on some really nice size. Also, I am no longer going to keep the humidity dome on them now that I see that they've rooted. I am just over the moon thrilled about my little mum cutting. This is the product that I used to spray my cuttings. I sprayed the top of the cuttings as well as the bottom of the cuttings with this. I don't want to take the cuttings and just jam them into the pots because I don't want to ruin the roots. So I'm just going to make a small little hole with my fingers like that. When I sprayed the insecticidal soap on the top and the bottom of the cuttings, I even sprayed the roots. I just didn't want to bring in any sort of pests. And for potting mix, I used a potting mix that was basically sterilized. I put boiling water on it just to make sure there's no fungus gnats inside of the potting mix. The other thing that I did do was I used my pen. So when I took the cuttings initially, I made 4 little holes just like this. So even though in the video I stuck the cuttings directly in the pot, I think it's probably better to use something like a pen and to make holes like that because you don't want to bend the cutting. You want it to go in nice and smooth. And then you can just tamp down the cutting around it with your fingers just to get it placed into the soil. This was the rooting hormone that I used for my cuttings. And even though I didn't use rooting hormone when I took the cuttings outdoors, and I still had very good success, I do recommend using a good rooting hormone whenever you want to take cuttings from not just mums, but from many other plants. And what I did was I just poured the rooting hormone in a small dish like this. And the reason is you don't want to be sticking cuttings directly into the rooting hormone container in case there's any disease issues with your cuttings. And then all I did was I took the bottom of the cuttings, I rolled it inside of the rooting hormone, tapped off any excess rooting hormone, made my little hole in here, stuck the cutting, and then pushed around it. And again, I did 4 different cuttings in each container. Can you be successful if you don't use rooting hormone? Yes, I really think you could be, but I think there's a higher chance of success if you use some sort of rooting hormone. And there you have it. These are the perennial mums that I was able to propagate during the winter. I'm going to be doing a lot more mum propagation because I have time to do it. And then come springtime, I will be hardening these off and then getting them put out in my landscape. Until then, I will be giving them fertilizer, most likely Miracle Grow, or I could use Espoma Grow. And I feel comfortable at this point using a full strength fertilizer that's as directed on the packaging because these have a very good root system going on. And I will be watering from above. I will not be bottom watering because the plants are a good size and they can handle it if I water from above. I just want to make sure I'm not getting water on the leaves because I don't want to cause any sort of disease issues. I'll just water at the base of the plant. Once my rooted cuttings are a little bit more sizable, a little bit bigger, at that point I can move them to my unheated garage. They don't necessarily have to stay in my house all this time. I just want them to put on a little bit more growth on them. And then after that, they'll go in my unheated garage where I have all my other mum plants and other plants that I'm overwintering. And then eventually I'll harden them off as soon as my average last frost date is approaching. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever propagated mums? And if so, have you ever done it through cuttings? What was your process? Did you do something different than what I did? Also, if you are overwintering mums or have mums in your landscape, did this video inspire you to try propagating mums from cuttings? Let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.